I will be live here in just a minute on Facebook in the Blue Bottle Brigade Facebook group. I am also recording here for YouTube that I will post later. So, hello everyone, and welcome to this Blue Bottle Brigade live. I'm so glad to be on again with you and to just be sharing the amazing information about this amazing product, ASEA. Let me turn it the right way here. Redox signaling molecules. This September it's going to be 6 years for me, and I have been doing it consistently, and it's amazing. This company is amazing. It's filled with amazing people, and this is the most natural product that I have seen. It's just foundational. Our bodies actually make what's in this bottle. This is an exact bio replenishment of what our bodies make to be healthy, to regulate our cellular activity, to regulate our cellular health, and we can only be as healthy as our cells are. And as we go through the aging process, this substance that's made in the mitochondria of our cells starts to go down. This explains aging. This is what it is. And as we age, our signaling between our cells gets lower and lower, quieter and quieter. And what that means is that things are not getting done the way they used to. For us to be able to maintain comfort and health of mind and body. So it's a really big deal. Today I want to just get on and talk a little bit about the Aspen study. And I will share a 6-minute video done by our ASEA's science department to give you a really good explanation. But I wanted to come on to my group and just say some things as a health coach, as a person who's been taking this for almost 6 years, as a person who has shared it widely as much as I possibly can. Some people say yes, some people say no, some people stop taking it when they really shouldn't. But I feel called to make sure that this information is available to you. It's huge. So I'm not going to stop sharing it. So here's the deal. There is a study, and ASEA continues to study. A safety study was started with Aspen Labs, and they started doing more than just the safety study. And we have some really good information that I want to share with you. So there were 30 healthy participants between the ages of 21 and 55, and they did 16 consistent, very important weeks of this product. And the findings are all about oxidative stress. Oxidative stress, inflammation, this is the root cause of our illnesses and the aging process. As we get older, we have less of this signal and more, and so our body can't respond to the inflammation and the toxicities that are building up over time. So we struggle. And so this study was about safety, it was about resilience, and it was about whether or not our bodies could be pushed out of healthy blood markers, that kind of safety, due to being on this product. So this product is 100% safe, 100% non-toxic, and 100% non-mutagenic. Okay, so that's a lot of safety. What else did we find out? Well, we had two findings in regards to cytokines. So cytokines are the oxidative stress that our bodies experience, right? And we also learned about glutathione, which we already knew that this substantially increases our body's own capacity to make glutathione, okay? People are now injecting it, they're supplementing with it orally, But when you do that, that is not an internally modulated process. The body's going to have to do something with that glutathione. And what if you don't get that amount correct? Okay, so whereas with this product, there is cellular communication going on to communicate modulated glutathione production so that it is in alignment with what our body actually needs and will use in a healthy manner. So really important. What we found after 60 days of ASEA is an 87% reduction in oxidative stress in 60 days. Like, this is huge. Now, it's interesting because when people were first on it, the first check, glutathione went up a lot and oxidative stress was coming down. But in the next check, at the 60-day mark, glutathione was going down. Why? Well, when you have an 87% reduction in oxidative stress, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to need as much glutathione. So it went down appropriately. And this is key. This is the kind of thing that is natural health, right? Okay, so some people today are even having to suppress glutathione. This is risky business. How much? For how long? You know, the key to health is working with your body. That's the key. And glutathione is naturally made within the body. And if we can work with that process, which we can with this, with more redox signaling molecules, our cells can communicate much better. And our genes can show up and express properly and healthily for longer, okay? So this is critically important. We all have an allostatic load. We're bearing stress, whether it's toxins in the air, the water, the soil, the food, whether it's emotional stress. There's a lot of different stress, work stress, relationship stress. All of these things are taking a toll on us. So we all carry a load. And if we can lighten that load, we are going to feel better longer. That's just the way it is. And so I can't help but talk about this. It's hugely important. I love it because it's easy. Anyone can take it, any age. That's critically important for me. And because it helps the body to regulate its own natural processes, I love it. So I invite you to try it if you haven't tried it. I invite you to take more if you're not sensing what it is you want to sense. If your allostatic load is not going down the way you want it to, take more. You can also do different creative things, like space out the dosing a little bit more, be a little bit more cognizant of hydration, be a little bit more cognizant of taking it on an empty stomach or a little bit further away from food. Using a nebulizer, using different means of getting it in. I put it in my eyes with a spray bottle. You can do a dropper. Think of the different ways that you can get this in your system and be creative. So that's what I really came on to talk about, was just like the highlights of this study, what it means to me personally, and how huge this really is. So in a world where we have a lot of hurting people, we have a lot of people with a very high allostatic load. How can you tell? Well, if you're in the hospital and you're having a hard time leaving the hospital, if you're in and out of the hospital a lot, if you're having to make a lot of hospital visits, If you're barely getting through your day and you're crashing at the end of your day, these are all things that would just be indicators that your allostatic load is really high. It's really high. And this can really help you with that. So I just wanted to come on and say that. Like I said, I'll put the video below in the notes or as a separate post. And thank you to whoever listens to this and checks it out. I just feel like this is a God thing. This is something that God is providing for people, and it's really a big deal. So thanks so much for listening, and I will see you next time.